Hello and welcome back to Resin Sports and another segment of industry news. These are some of my favorite stories to cover or topics to cover on my channel because a lot of times I learn quite a bit about a company by digging a little deeper, or maybe I learned some additional trivia, and you'll see what I mean here in a minute. But Time, the French manufacturer or bike pedals manufacturer, they are opening a 140,000 square foot manufacturing facility here in the US. And according to the CEO, Kirklands, I'll look that up in a second, but he's like, look, this is what everybody should be doing right now. And this is what Europe's been doing for the last 3 years, is bringing the manufacturing back, bringing it back from offshore back to either onshore or, in this case, the US. So the area that they've chosen is really interesting. And I hadn't paid attention to this place. So this is going to be in Landrum. And Landrum is near, like within 30 miles in either direction, there's an airport. So there's an international airport, Greenville Spartanburg Airport. And then there's one in North Carolina. So that's in South Carolina. And then in North Carolina, Asheville Regional. And then the ports. So, we're looking at stuff that's either coming from overseas or going overseas. So here's where the trivia part comes in. The Port of Savannah is the 4th busiest port in the US. I had no clue. The first two, Port of Los Angeles and Long Beach. And then I think it's New Jersey, something, New York area. And then the Port of Savannah. So Savannah, Georgia. And then also the Port of Charleston is number 8. So Charleston, South Carolina, they're going to be in South Carolina, but Savannah being a busier port. And this becomes important here in a minute. Now I'll get to that. So basically 140 square foot space. They're looking at employing about 105 employees. Now, the CEO, he's involved in quite a few other things, which I thought was kind of interesting. Allied bicycles, some of you know about those, and then that was purchased by the Walton family. So there you go. But what they're talking about is probably, so let's see, by the end, I want to read the quote just so I get it right. By the end of 2024, we'll be able to do every single piece of manufacturing, from braiding the carbon sleeves, to weaving them, to injecting them, to bonding them, to matching them, to sanding them, to painting them. It'll go from raw fiber all the way to a finished bicycle. And if you folks are not aware about Time, this is something that they are well known for. They make their own carbon fiber. Now, a lot of manufacturers, and I stand to be corrected if anyone knows this better than I. Some of these manufacturers just buy the carbon tubes from somebody else, and then they put those tubes together. They may be sourcing the carbon tubes, like I'm talking about a bike frame. They may be sourcing the carbon tubes from somewhere in Taiwan, and then they put them together here in the US, and they claim, hey, made in the US. But Time is one of these companies that they weave their own carbon fiber, which is really kind of cool. And if you're a Hambini fan, and he will basically, as he calls it, he reams some of these companies on their engineering, on their design, on their manufacturing. And Time pretty much does pretty well when he goes and digs deep into these bikes. Time and Look, both of these are French companies, and they have a pretty good manufacturing process and design based on Hambini. And he's someone who doesn't pull any punches. So if that's someone you follow, and if you don't follow him, go check out some of his videos. Good content. But one of the things that made me, or one other company that I thought about was Bianchi. Bianchi's doing the same thing, and they call it reshoring. In other words, bringing stuff back. And Bianchi wants to do this manufacturing in Italy. And let me see if I can find the numbers on this. It was they're trying to get to a point where it would be 1,000 bikes per day, and the space would be huge. It's 325,000 square feet. So it's a big space that they're going to open up, and it was a $45 million investment. This was only about a $6 million investment, $6.5 million investment, but jobs, 105 jobs in that area. Now, they also mentioned that painting is probably one of the first things they'll get online, and that'll be by the end of 2023. They'll already be doing some painting. Now, the factory they took over used to build hinges, door hinges. So I don't know how much of the machinery was left behind. Probably all of it's been gutted. But this is now this is something I was not aware of. Apparently, Clemson University has a lot of carbon technology and a lot of aerospace and automobile manufacturing stuff. So BMW is in that area as well. So the three of them are going to share and work together. So this is a very interesting thing for the bicycle industry and for that community. So apparently they're drawing, that community is drawing in a lot of experts in this field. So, hey, we might benefit from all of this, right? Let's see what else I got here just to make sure I don't miss too much. So Time currently makes some of their stuff in Slovakia. So those frames would come over, they would get painted and finished here in the US. So you can just see this huge logistical operation of, going from Europe to here and then back to where it's going to be distributed. So I don't envy those folks, but a couple of other things I want to cover before moving on. They mentioned this resin transfer molding as I'm not aware of it. So if you folks, someone out there is very familiar with this process, apparently this is a big deal, right? And so that's why in Clemson University, apparently they lead this stuff. And let me see if I can find the quote on this, just so I can read that to you. So it talks about the being located in a rich technology area was important consideration for Time. So BMW's U.S. manufacturing plant is in Spartanburg, and it has developed a long-term partnership with Clemson University on composites technology. Their composites program is leading edge. They've done significant work over the last decade in resin transfer molding technology. And for this reason, we've come to the area. So my engineers, my people that are carbon composite people, please chime in, because I want to know what's the importance of that. But, this is a good little thing for this, what looks like a small community. And I actually had a customer just recently order nutrition product from me, and he's also from South Carolina, and he says it's a beautiful place to ride. And I had another customer who ordered SQ Lab saddle for me, and we spoke at length about how wonderful it is to ride in South Carolina. So who knows, maybe I'll go out there and check out the scene. And then what I wanted to mention was how Kirklands, the CEO of Time, is involved with so many other things. So here, let me just read this so I don't mess it up. So Kirklands was one of the founders of Allied Cycle Works, domestic carbon fiber manufacturer in Arkansas, and now owned by an investment group with the Walton family. Time is owned by Cardinal Cycling Group, which Kirklands formed with a partner in 2021. And then they bought Time's bike and frame business from Rosengold the same year. And then SRAM bought the Time pedals. So if you are a SRAM dealer, you can sell Time pedals now, which is kind of cool. They are different than any other pedal platform, the way you step into them. So, you have to have some variety. So you have a time system, a look system, speed play system, Shimano. So yeah, it's great to have that. So the key takeaway is this will be the largest carbon bicycle frame manufacturer in the US. And Time is coming to do that. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. Let me hear your thoughts. Do any of you own a Time bike? How long have you had it? I haven't seen Time in the professional peloton in a few years. Now, of course, this doesn't mean anything, but some folks like to ride a bike that has a UCI certification and a pro testimonial that, hey, it's being ridden in the world tour. But I haven't noticed any Time bikes in a while. But I'm just curious, who has a Time bike? Who will never get rid of their Time bike? And just throw some comments down below. As always, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. We need to get our subscriber base up so we can do some more exciting things with this channel. But in the meantime, we will see you up the road.